Hello and welcome back to Game Over Gerkinman. I'm Gerkinman and this is of course Resident Evil 4 happening again right before your very eyes. New Game Plus, if this is your first episode by the way, if you're wondering why I'm blitzing everything. Oh dear, oh I guess I'll have to mix that with that. Alright, so there's a little cutscene in here for people who don't know. I just got busted in this room, but if I go back inside... There's a cranky pants in here. Oh, he's so mad. And of course, Ada gets introduced in the next chunk of the game. But of course, if you do this cutscene, she's here. Now in the main game, she's actually wearing like a really flowing red dress, which is really impractical. So it's funny that when you play special costume, she's actually wearing... Her special costume is something that's actually quite practical to wear. Look at the 2D matte painting background there. Beautiful. I love it. Where'd the guy go? He didn't even leave. He just vanishes after the cutscene. Well, anyway. Where were we? This must be a painting of that church. I hope Ashley's still okay. I like these little details, like, looks like the people in this house eat like normal humans. Because the other people had, like, shit everywhere, I guess. They might eat like normal humans, but they keep fucking grenades in their kitchen. Which isn't a normal human thing to do. I don't think. Nor is putting a whole egg into the oven. There's another chainsaw man here, off in the distance. We're going to take advantage of his dumb AI and the fact that he doesn't care that we're here. So I don't understand what that guy's saying, if I become unpleasant to their eyes. Well, speaking of eyes, he's got creepy eyes. If you become unpleasant to our eyes, we won't hesitate to kill you. But we're going to surround the place with these guys who are also going to try their best to kill you. Bit of hypocrisy. This thing's so just like overpowered. Just nothing stands a chance. At least let him think that he's gonna hurt me. Nope. One for the road. It's funny how terrifying this guy is, you know, when you're playing through the first time. Although, like, these are fully powered up, and you can see how many shots this guy still took. You know, when you're playing through this the first time and your weapons aren't upgraded, it soaks up some damage. Doesn't make it easy, that's for sure. Ah yes, red herb. I was looking for one of these so I could mix it with these. Now, I don't know if anyone else here is like OCD about this stuff, but I'm very paranoid about the management of my inventory. Very, very paranoid about it. I take very good care of my inventory, make sure it's always neat all the time. It's just kind of clunky using an interface like this at a game at this point in time. I mean, like, back when this came out. Actually reminds me a lot of Deus Ex. It had a very similar inventory. And not particularly controller friendly, mind you. But, you know, it works. There's a lot to juggle in this. Oh yeah, actually, I'll get back to that later on. Never mind. I was going to say something, but then I realized this is not the ideal time to talk about it. We'll, however, talk about their deaths. They were necessary. So I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry I killed all, yeah. So magically, between me coming here earlier and me leaving, the place has been repopulated. As not zombies, but by crazy Spanish people. Oh. You weren't affected by that. I never get tired of this that delicious crunching sound that their heads make as they pop. It's truly one of the most beautiful head popping sounds in any video game of all time. Absolutely nailed it. Wouldn't change a thing. Even in games since, like, I can't think of any games that have quite as satisfying a headshot as that. Actually, give me a chance to... I'm trying to think of something. Yeah, I honestly can't think of any games with, like, headshots that really stand out to me, like, quite like that. It's just that bone-crunching... Oh, actually, Bulletstorm had good ones when you used the, Violence in Bulletstorm was very satisfying. I enjoyed that game a lot. All this TMP ammo and no TMP. That's hilarious. Normally I would buy one, but I guess because we're on our way to try to save up enough money to get a Chicago typewriter, it would make a whole lot of sense to get a TMP at this point. But we can sell off some shit that we don't need. So we're going to talk to Mr. Merchant. Mr. Stephen Merchant. Over here, he lives in this little dank tunnel.
Got something that might interest you.
Got something that might interest you, mate.
Got a selection of... What are you
We're going to sell some things. Oh, I forgot they had the tactical vest too. Very useful. TMP, 20 ammo. Oh, it's only 7,500. We're already well on our way to getting enough to buy it. No, there is something in here. Oh yeah, I can sell off all my fish too. They're only a couple thousand each, but everything helps. Oh, they get good money. Spinel, 5 of those. Ruby, with a rose. Yes. Pearl pendant. Now this we're not selling, the elegant mask. Even though we got this in the last episode, this won't actually come into play as something of value until much, much, much later in the game. And it's very easy to miss, actually. It's kind of funny how they give you that item so early in the game, and then the items that you combine with it, because you can see those 3 holes in the top there, they don't come into the game until much later. And it's a very interesting choice to take it in that direction. Likewise, this church is kind of interesting. In this particular part now, because it's really open, it actually makes the combat kind of... The combat in Resident Evil 4 doesn't really work in open environments. Resident Evil 4 is about forcing you into like tough situations where there's not a lot of room and you can't really move around much. But when you're in an open area like this, it's very easy just to flank enemies and take pot shots. And the game actually becomes much, much easier. Not that there's a problem with that. It's good that it mixes up the pace like that, I suppose. Certainly not a bad thing. I certainly didn't expect that guy to follow me. I knew there was a guy around here somewhere, but I didn't know where he was. And of course, there's more of those little blue dangly things that get you that gun. But I'm not going to waste my ammunition on them because I can, if I wanted it, I could already purchase it. And I don't want it. What I do want is to knock that guy down so that he kills this other dude next to him. Like that. Because that never gets old. Never ever. Okay, so we move along here. This is also, I always like the way they hung little pendants off the edge here. And you shoot him in the knee and over the edge they go. I always thought that was really cool the way they did that. The water does look kind of weird. It looks kind of like... Although that's still pretty impressive for the time, actually, looking at that. I mean, that doesn't look great. It looks kind of like mercury, but in general, some of the water effects in this game still look like pretty decent. Wasn't fast enough. Those snakes do hardly any damage, but still, it's enough to be kind of annoying. The way he's slipping through the woods kind of a bit jank. Why'd you kill it? Well, that's so I could get that. Chicken egg. Sweet, delicious chicken egg. I love eggs. Eggs are fantastic. Personally, I am more of a... I like my eggs sunny side up. I like the yolk runny. I do like scrambled eggs and omelets as well. But sunny side up is my favourite, with a bit of bacon to like melt some cheese over the top of the egg. That is most definitely my jam. Nothing. Look at all this money. Money, you say? What are you talking about? Look at all these pitas. Pita. And they even give you another flashbang back, so you're pretty much breaking even. You can also hear a roaring in the background there. That is another little piece of foreshadowing. Something really bad is inside there. And if you haven't played through this game before, his introduction is going to be entertaining. It's actually one of my favourite character introductions in the game, is the introduction to what is making all that noise in there. Absolutely love it. So I'm going to start playing another game when I'm finished recording this episode. I don't know what I'm going to play yet. Something for fun to see if it's worth replaying for the channel. If you go down there, there is a merchant, but I mean, we already sold everything, so we don't necessarily need to go back down there again. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'll play. I do know, like, in terms of New Game Plus modes I have ready to go, I have the original Dead Space, and now also Dragon's Dogma, which, now that I know that... the quick time event. Now that I know how Dragon's Dogma work, which I actually really enjoy it, and I would like to do on this channel at some point if people ask for it. I'm just going to get through this thing here first. Just made it. There are of course other games I'll be playing through that aren't New Game Plus, but those, I definitely have a couple with New Game Plus ready to go. And later on, I was hoping to kick him into the explosion. Maybe this guy will come through. Come on, guys. Don't mind the bombs. Well, I didn't leave me anything. Like, for example, if I end up playing through Demon Souls and Dead Souls, those would be... Dark Souls, not Dead Souls, the fuck. Like, those would be New Game Plus as well. So I'm not saying I want to play everything through New Game Plus, but a lot of games, like if I can play through them once and unlock stuff to make it easier so the episodes don't run forever and I have a better idea what I'm doing, then that's what I'll do. Other games, like the Mass Effect games, obviously, you start those from scratch every time. But yeah, we'll see what I play after this. No doubt I'll tell you what I'm currently playing when I record next week's batch of Resident Evil 4 episodes. This music here kind of reminds me of Jaws, except for that strange droning sound, at least. I like the way the snake just kind of like floats around on top of the water. I got guys coming in after me. Where are yous? Oh, you were behind me? Really? How'd you get back there? There's 3 of yous. Ugh. So even at this point in the game, a fully upgraded pistol still takes 3 shots, you know, to kill somebody. I'm not saying that 3 shots is hard or anything, but it's definitely... The game doesn't become like a cakewalk all of a sudden on New Game Plus. At least not until you get the Chicago typewriter. That's going to be a whole other... That's going to be a whole other thing. Oh man, the Chicago typewriter is so much fun. I'm so excited. I only ever like took the time to unlock it once. I think when I redid it on the Wii, I saved up for the infinite rocket launcher instead. Oh, he must be dead. Is he dead? Is he coming back? Oh, he's back. I shot him in the ass. Hey, buddy. Where'd your fats go? It exploded. I like this wading through the water too, this little thing here. The fact the knife, like, kicks up a little bit of water. I really like that. just another one of those little details that just makes everything that little bit more... I don't know. When I think of games that have had like a ton of care and thought put into them, this is one of the first games that comes to mind every single time. I know a lot of other people would say that Metal Gear Solid 3 is their game for that. I know my friend Mark, I don't know if he's watching this or not, if he is, whenever he wants to talk about, you know, the amount of thought that goes into a game, Metal Gear Solid 3 is always his go-to for that. But since I haven't really played the Metal Gear games, I played the demo of the original Metal Gear Solid on the PS1 like a lot, on my cousin's PS1, but that is where and I played the VR missions actually on the PC quite a bit. That is where my experience of with Metal Gear Solid begins and ends. And it isn't particularly huge. Every single time. He's following me. It doesn't matter at this point anyway. You're no threat to me. Alright, so we're almost up to the game's first real big boss. First... I guess can you call Chainsaw Man a boss because he's surrounded by goons? He's actually certainly like more of a threat than this boss coming up, but I don't know that he actually counts as a boss. This is quite a clever way of setting all this up. Why they burnt one of the guys who came with you and threw the other one in the water, I don't know. It's not ever really explained. It's just something that these guys apparently did for reasons that I guess we'll never really know. Policia. I like that. They give you just enough to give you a hint that there's obviously something big, something that's sort of reptilian looking. I love the way they took that approach to the to introducing this first boss. I think it's fantastic. And it's not mandatory to go up there. You can turn right here instead and just avoid all that. But I think it's neat that there's a lot of optional stuff like that, which it's kind of world building or just sets things up, sets the tone. I thought I had a green one ready to go, but I don't. That's alright, there's one in here. There's also typewriters. You'll notice I haven't really been saving much. That's just because I'm literally trying to make each episode a single game chapter. That's what I'm striving to do, at least. I thought that would be the most practical way of playing through this particular game. Not all games will work like that, obviously, but this game, at the very least, I feel that that's what suits it. You can beg otherwise, and I am more than happy to hear what you think. If you think these episodes are too long or too short, let me know, and I'll do what I can. Because in the end, even though I'm doing this for fun, I'm also doing it to kind of interact with you guys, you know, like, as much as I enjoy animating and stuff, and lately I've been streaming that, it's good to sit down and do something I enjoy to relax, you know, like, playing through a game that I enjoy, or that I love, that I can gush about, like that shot with it's clearly, at this point, you realize it's a giant salamander, which is, they got one of the least threatening animals in the world and made it absolutely terrifying. I love it out of gush about this stuff to you guys. I think it's great. I think it's great that I can do that. We want to avoid these trees. These trees are bad, and bad things will happen. That's hilarious. When I played through this boss the other day for this capture, I completely stuffed it up and died. Kind of like I did there, actually. After you fall off a certain amount of times, it ends up becoming impossible to get back on your ship. Like, each time it's a little bit further away, and the monster gets closer. But avoiding those trees can be a pain in the ass. This is most certainly true. Just a little bit too slow. It's worth noting too, there's nothing else like this boss in the game. And I don't just mean in terms of like giant salamanders, but the way the actual mechanics of the fight work, where you have to hold down the right trigger to aim the harpoon. What is it? Oh, it's from the way. When you're in a... Oh, there is one other part where you're in a vehicle, but it's definitely its own thing, and there's nothing else that handles like it in the game. I'm not a big fan of the way the harpoon handles. It feels very digital. It's not smooth. Like, if you hold it down a little bit, it's still, it juts around. Like, it isn't a smooth reticle, which I'm not a fan of, to say the least. Oh man, I think that's the first time I've ever actually touched the wall in this boss fight, like, ever. It's not a particularly hard boss fight, but it's just weird that the... Oh no. We do not want to hit that. Ugh, shit. I don't know that I could have avoided that, to be completely honest. Alright, we made it back in plenty of time. That's fine. It's pretty intense. The music adds a lot to that, actually. It's got a lot to do with it. Oh, where is he? Oh, there he is. I wish I didn't put it down now. I could have had him. But yeah, it's a shame that the skills that you learn on this boss fight don't really come into play anywhere else in the game. They're kind of used in this one little instance here, and it just so happens to be the first boss fight in the game, which makes it feel almost like it's a bit of a waste. Not that it is. I mean, if all the bosses were like this, you'd get bored of it, right? Most people would. It doesn't outstay its welcome, the mechanics don't. But I also don't feel like they were completely explored. I do think the design of this boss is great, and he looks fantastic still. I mean, like, fantastic amount of detail in its character model, that is for certain. And he takes a hell of a beating. A hell of a beating. There we go. Well, I'm sure I'm glad that's over. Oh no! Not the old rope around the ankle routine. Yes, I'm afraid so. Quick time eventorama. Just for that little extra tension. I'm kind of curious to see what happens if you don't cut the rope. I mean, I guess I could just look it up on YouTube, but I've never wanted to have to fight the boss twice. I've never actually tried. That's something I should probably do, though. Alright, and off he goes. Into the sunset. So basically all of that just to get to the other side of the lake. And as we will discover next episode, the whole point of getting to that side of the lake is just so you can get back to the other side of the lake. It's all a bit silly, really. But I can't complain too much about it. And that is the end of this episode. That is the end of Chapter 1. So I hope you had a good time, and I hope you'll join me next Monday for the beginning of Chapter 2, where things take a bit of a nasty turn, and it's nighttime all of a sudden. So if you'll join me for that, I would very much appreciate it, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. There'll be another video up tomorrow. It'll be Star Wars. So I hope you enjoy that. I hope you have a good weekend, and I'll see you next week.